We're back with another deck profile for the Age of Overlord format. This time we have branded Chimera with Horus inside. So before we begin, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video. Check out all the sponsor links in the description below. We have a new field center, a new playmat, new Dia Bellstar and Horus sleeves that are just absolutely amazing. Check it all out in the link below. Chimera is probably not the best deck of the format. But really, really fun, and still I think has a lot of power. And now with the Horus stuff, I think it works relatively well together. Chimera has a lot of good things going for it still. It has some less favorable matches like Tier Limit specifically, but I think the other matches are pretty good. Rescue A specifically, you have a lot of removal power. You have a lot of negates, a lot of interruptions. So if you go first and set up your board, it's not going to be easy for them to break it. And we are playing a lot of hand traps as well because the engine is relatively small. Let's jump into it. Again, we're prioritizing not being able to be targeted, right? And the Horus engine actually protects our board as well. Really, really good. So Chimera stuff, we have 3 Swords Knight, we have 3 Kotal. Like both of these are 1-card combos. The deck is really consistent in terms of like starters. We have 3 Gazelle, 2 Berfomat, and then we have 3 Chimera Fusion. I think this is the ratio for like a pure Chimera deck. I know runic variants have like kind of different ratios, but I think this is good. Horus stuff, we have 3 Imseti, we have 1 Duamutef, which is the card that allows you to draw cards if your card leaves the field by an opponent's effect. And it's also a beast, so you can use it with Chimera Fusion. Like if you set up Imseti and Duamutef and you have another monster in hand, you can use both of them for Chimera Fusion, then next turn summon them because, you know, they can summon themselves built in. And then I'm also playing Happy because it just loops your resources a little bit better. You can bring back to your hand 2 banished cards or in the graveyard, also from your opponent's deck, from your opponent's graveyard or banished. And then 2 gold Sarks, King Sarcophagus, of course. I was playing 1, but you really don't want to draw this card with Imseti, and that could happen. So it gives you a little bit better play. If you're playing against Tier Elements when they mill you, it's easier to have the Sarcophagus at 2. And just like if you open Imseti, it's just so freaking good. We have branded stuff, 2 Albaz, 3 branded Fusion. Just, you know, the standard. We are playing 2. I've been really having fun with the Horus stuff. Like having them on your end board is just an insane boost. Like 1 Imseti and all of your other stuff is just 1-card combo. So Imseti and branded Fusion in the hand is so much fuel, and Duamutef draws you into more hand traps, and it's just really good. I am playing the Edgem Chain package here with 1 Polymerization. Again, you get more bodies on board with the Horus stuff, so it makes sense to maximize your potential of making an untargetable Guardian Chimera, which I think is really valuable in this format. And then in terms of hand traps, we're playing 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Veilers, and this comes into the Sanctifier that is in your extra deck, because you can now make it, and it's just such a good card against Rescue Ace. 3 Imperm, and 1 Call by the Grave. So I think, 9 hand traps, a lot of other non-engine, mixed engine within just gives your deck a lot more resilience. And I think that's what makes it so strong. The new Berfomat, I don't think it's extremely good, to be honest. Like, we're not using it to lock our opponent. You can use this with cards in your side deck to summon any Fiend Beast or, send any Fiend Beast or Illusion from the deck. So you can get stuff like, we already did a video about that, the end of Anubis, stuff like that. You can make that happen with Berfomat. But it gives you a better resource loop because it summons the small Chimera from banished, and then you should just loop them around, basically, which is really cool. So 1 Berfomat, 1 big Chimera. This card is incredible. 2 small Chimeras, and then 2 Guardian Chimeras. Again, we can make this a lot. And as long as we have the poly, it just becomes infinitely better when you have the poly in the graveyard. And then we have Magnum the Reliever for additional removal. And then a lot of Alba stuff this time. Rainbroom, which is your starter. Lubellion, Sanctifier, because we can make it with Veiler. And it's untargetable, it's really big, and it's really important to have this card, I think, in your X deck. If you're playing Veiler, there's no reason not to play this card. This card is just bonkers. Titanic Lad, This is a good out to Pearly, so I do like playing that. And then we have one Albion, one Mirror Jade. Drago Stapelia, good in matchups when you get Typhon, even though your bodies are a little bit smaller, so you can play under Typhon. So I think it's good. And then lastly, I mean, you're not always locked. So basically, turn 3, you can go into this and then lock yourself after with something like a Berthamat. But this card is too good to pass up. This card, I would prioritize going into it more than other cards, right? So not if you have Branded Fusion. Like if you have Branded Fusion, just go all in. But turn 3 or going second, this card just becomes amazing because you do have. It's really good in Runic Chimera as well because you have fusions. But you're gonna have fusions. And you're not always going to lock yourself, so you can actually make a lot more plays. So this is the Chimera build with Horus. I think you should definitely give it a shot if you have the cards. If not, go over to our Discord and let's talk about some builds over there. I've been having a lot of fun with this. This deck is really powerful. And your end board now, when you have like Branded Fusion Imseti, is just, so many layers of interruption, like 2 from grave, 4 from field, 1 from the back row, hand traps as well when you're playing like 9 here in this build. Like think about so many points of interaction coming in from different directions. This is what makes Chimera and Branded in general usually so good. So comment below, like the video, share your build on our Discord server. It's open for you. If you want to get these builds early, you can join as a member. This is one of the better perks. And of course, the new Field Center, Chainlink TCG. Check it out. Love you guys. Peace. Bye.